All right, let's jump right in. In any busy warehouse, there's this hidden cost, right? And it can absolutely wreck your efficiency. It's not about your inventory, it's about what your team is doing, or more importantly, what they're not doing. So today, we're going to break down how some smart automation can solve a problem that can easily cost a medium-sized warehouse hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And that's just in wasted time. And this right here is the absolute heart of the issue. Picture this. A picker walks all the way to a bin to grab an item for a customer, only to find it's empty. And they stop. That one little moment of waiting, it creates a ripple effect, a bottleneck that messes with your entire supply chain. It's just pure wasted.
So that leads us to the big question, right? How do we get ahead of this thing? How do we use the systems we probably already have to keep our teams moving, to keep them productive? Well, let's unpack that.
First things first, let's put a name to the enemy here, the empty bin problem. I know, it sounds almost too simple, but trust me, its effects are anything but. Every single time a picker gets to an empty spot, this clunky, manual, slow-moving process has to kick in just to fix it.
And every second that picker is just standing there, idle, it's a direct hit to your bottom line. I mean, think about it. You're paying for their labor, for the forklift, for the lights, all for someone to just stand still? This isn't just some minor inconvenience. It's a huge operational problem that costs you real money every single hour.
So what's the fix? Well, as a business, you got to make a strategic choice. There are really two main ways, two philosophies for automatically refilling those bins. And picking the right one, it all depends on what kind of stuff you're trying to move.
Okay, so here's the big strategic decision. On one side, you've got the stock-driven method. You can think of this as the always full strategy. The second your stock dips below a certain point, the system just goes, hey, refill it now. This is absolutely perfect for your bestsellers, the things you can't afford to run out of. But then on the other side, you've got demand-driven. This is more of a just-in-time deal. The system actually looks at the real customer orders coming in and says, okay, we need 30 of these to get this shipment out, so let's go get exactly 30. This is brilliant for making sure your warehouse doesn't get clogged up with slow-moving stock. Now, before any of this magic automation can happen, we have to play teacher for a minute. You have to translate the physical reality of your warehouse, the layout, how much each bin can hold, into a set of rules the system can actually understand and follow.
So to make this whole thing work, the system has to know 4 really basic things. First up, the address. Where exactly is this bin? Second, the trigger. What's the minimum number of items before we sound the alarm to refill? Third is the ceiling. What's the absolute maximum this bin can hold? And finally, the amount. How much stuff should we bring over in one go? This is the basic language the system needs to get the job done.
And this right here is such a great pro tip because it highlights a super common mistake. Let's say your system asks for 13 units, but your pallets hold 10. You're literally forcing a worker to go all the way to the back, find a full pallet, and break it open just for a few items. What a waste of time. But by matching that replenishment amount to your pallet size, you get these beautiful, smooth, full pallet moves. It's such a simple rule, but it has a massive impact on efficiency.
Okay, so we've taught the system the rules of the road. Now, let's look at how it actually automates the job. And it's not just one single action. It's this really logical two-step dance.
So the process happens in 2 phases. First is the calculation. The system scans everything, compares the stock levels to the rules you set, and it creates a requirement. You can just think of this as a digital to-do list. But here's the thing, a to-do list doesn't move boxes, does it? That's where step 2 comes in, the conversion. A totally separate process is constantly scanning that list of requirements and turning them into actual move orders. The real instructions that pop up on a forklift driver's scanner. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Reporting is not moving. Running a report that tells you what you need, that's just step 1. That's the requirement. Nothing actually happens on the warehouse floor until that requirement gets converted into an order. This 2-step logic, that separation, is the absolute key to true hands-off automation.
So what happens when you put this all together? You've got the right strategy, you've fed the system the correct data, and you've got this 2-step automation humming along. What does that actually look like for your business? What are the real, tangible benefits?
Well, the results are pretty powerful. Because the bins are always properly stocked, picker downtime just plummets. And that means orders get out the door way faster. Plus, the system is tracking every single move, so your inventory accuracy goes way up. And maybe the best part? The whole thing runs 24/7, turning your replenishment process from this reactive fire drill into a proactive, smoothly running machine.
And really, that leaves us with this one final thought. Your warehouse is already running on data.
You have all the information about your stock levels, your bin sizes, your customer orders. So the question is, are you actually using that data to create automated actions that save you time and money? Or is it all just sitting there in a report, waiting for someone to notice?